Demons can experience hangovers, David.
Yeah.
And you know what? All this does is confirm my headcanon theory that I've had for a while, that Lewis was absolutely the alcoholic friend of Bayon who just kind of slept on his couch and, ate all his food.
I just want a side story now of just Lewis passed out on the couch drinking a fucking fifth.
As if David couldn't relate to Lewis more.
Oh my god.
That was great, legitimately. Especially considering, not even joking, like, I have had that, like, kind of headcanon of his personality for a while, that, like, he does seem like a partier to me.
Yep.
So good for him.
Yeah.
He's remembering his old days.
His very old days.
I'm almost getting the vibe that, like, this little, like, Goldie Pond Park here for him was kind of like how, when, like, you're retired and you're old and, like, you go and, like, play golf all day and, like, that's the only way to, like, feel something.
Yeah.
This is, like, his, like, retirement home golf. So it feels like to me anyway.
But
the way that he said that legitimately was like, oh man, this reminds me of getting fucking wasted and having a hangover, but I love it.
I love it.
No, just this opens up a lot of questions. Like, demons have an equivalent of a liver, I suppose.
Yeah.
See, like, the thing is, it's manga stream. Sometimes they, like, make weird colloquializations and, like, you know what I mean? So, like hashtag never forget the time when Kenpachi, and again, this is not me making fun or light of this. This is literally, you can look it up. This is a translation that Manga Stream used at one point.
Actually, just send it to me in a DM.
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. At one point, Kenpachi in Bleach said, hold on, I gotta see. He was like, yeah, wait, is this it? He was like, as long I'm trying to find it. Is this it? Come on. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna send a private message, David, and live edit this up. Okay, this is the kind of shit that Manga Stream does, so we can't fully trust all of their translations.
Yep.
So go ahead and live edit that up, and I will narrate. Because I am simply reading from the Manga Stream translation of one of the Bleach chapters. I remember when this one came out, okay? So let me know when it's up there, David.
Alright, give me a second. I was naming the file. And...
okay.
This is why you can't always trust Manga Stream.
Who gives a shit? As long as I can rape everything that stands in my way, I'll have a big fucking grin.
This... I want to know what kind of drugs this translator was on.
Well, whoever it was, it was like one of those... You know how people always say, like I've heard that term used for, like, someone that's, like, just, like, crazy OP, and they're just, like, ripping through people, like, oh, he raped him, that was kind of, like, 2008 terminology, along with, like, epic fail and shit, and, like, pwned, like,
yeah.
So, like, to me, I feel like it was, whoever was translating that chapter just kind of was stuck in those times.
Yeah, so
the reason I bring this up is it makes me wonder if in this chapter there was actually a reference to it feeling like a hangover or not, and so I will be interested to know. In fact, I might even, if no one on the Reddit, on the Promise Neverland Reddit is talking about it, I might buy the official chapter myself just to see what that line was, because I am curious.
And it's only 99 cents.
Exactly. So yeah, so moving on to the chapter, I actually gotta say I quite enjoyed the strategy one.
Well, let's start with the sexy color page.
Oh, Emma
holding what looks like a scorpion.
There's no limit how amazing. Like, Emma's just an amazing character, man. Like, when you can perfectly, like, somehow combine the elements of best girl on protect status to like absolute badass. How? Because even though she's on protect status, she doesn't need to be protected because badass. In fact, she'd absolutely kill any of us. Oh, she'd also out-test any of us. So, really.
I mean, it wouldn't take much to out-test me.
Yeah. No, I thought, aren't you, like, legally a genius or some shit?
Yeah, but I fucking hate tests to begin with.
He's one of them idiot savants, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, sexy ass color page, fucking wonderful, man. Like,
OBS, don't give me a warning, piece of shit.
what are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, set encoding overload. It does that occasionally.
Is our recording okay?
Yes, it is.
All right, moving on. What I want to talk about is let's talk about Lewis's face. What's your thoughts?
Oh, when they showed his crushed mask and he looks like
What does it remind me of?
Deadpool.
Actually, yeah, kind of. Hold on, wait. I actually have a better comparison of what that looks like to me. Actually, wait for it. Okay, but no. So yeah, like I don't know. I think he certainly looks better than fucking Luce did. Luce.
Fuck that fat prince bastard.
I think out of all of them, he probably has the most interesting face so far. Usually their masks are more interesting than faces, honestly.
Yeah, they are. But the only thing that came to my mind was the line from Deadpool 1 when they showed his face off for the first time after, the whole bullshit went wrong.
Like an avocado mouth fuck.
Yeah, that. I'm like, God damn. But then again, I do have
an avocado mouth fuck to topographical map of Utah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly, so what I gotta talk about though is, okay, moving on to the whole grenade, lol, JK, it's a flash bomb. Thoughts on that?
I'm not gonna lie. As bullshit as that was fucking funny.
That's pretty neat. I think that the strategy in this was a lot better than, like, fucking...
Let's go all Tintin on their asses.
Yeah, I was trying to remember her name, Ten. Yeah, it's better than just, like, throw all the weapons at them. And honestly, my favorite part of this chapter, gotta be honest, is what Lewis does with the mask pieces. That shit's epic.
Just like, I hear them. I'm gonna fuck Pepe up.
He's doing, like, a form of echolocation.
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna grab these mask pieces, chuck them in all directions, and if I hear someone wince in pain, there they are. Like, oh god, oh there you are.
Oh, there you are.
That's amazing. Like, he can't see, and you know how the flashbangs are. Like, it's probably like his ears are probably like,
Oh yeah.
So he's just mega fucked, and his thought process is, I'm just gonna chuck these fucking masks. And that mask is hard as fuck. It takes a lot to break it. So it's probably like a real heft of shard being thrown at you.
It's like if I picked up my combat knife and chucked it at you, kinda.
Yeah, so that was cool. I quite enjoy what Lewis did there, and I think that just shows how, like, Lewis is currently, let me just count here, 1, 2, 3, like, what, 5-on-1?
Yeah.
And he's keeping his cool. He's I also think he's still being electrocuted, by the way.
Yeah, there's still some, like, shock effects there.
The effect is still there. So what I'm assuming is that Emma, like, dropped that cable in the water. So I think he's not only was flashbanged, but still standing in, like, an open current.
It's like...
So, I mean, it's like they're fucking trying to bring down a Titan right now. For real, though. Let's see.
This bastard won't go down!
Panel where they... oh, yeah, okay, let's talk about, I believe Pepe is his name? The fucking eye sort of... deep-ass shoulder wound here. What are we thinking?
He's on some fucked up status for sure.
That's some shit, though. You know how many times, like, Kubo is all about the shoulder wound.
Yep.
When I saw that, legitimately, first thing I thought of, I'm gonna see if I can find a gif of it. First thing I thought of was that when Renji fucking first fought Ichigo, and his whole thing was to, like, tear up your shoulder.
Yeah, see if you can find that gif.
Renji versus Ichigo gif. But it's just like, Kurt.
It's like,
come on now, where is it? I should just look up like shoulder fuck. Basically what it was.
I'm just gonna look up shoulder fuck. I'm sure that will take you to some really weird shit.
I think you look up shoulder fuck. Oh, it's not a GIF, but it's what I was looking for, but it's not a GIF, so we're gonna make do with it.
I was assuming you find some bullshit hentai.
No, I didn't actually Google shoulder fuck.
Oh.
I Googled red.
Oh, that audio. Get Megatron's dick out of your mouth, man.
Sorry. Yeah, so when you put that up, essentially, like, tell me when that's up, David.
1 second. Dude, I'm not even going to name this.
Like a bunch of barbs, and it can, like, extend and, like, retract and shit. And whenever this picture's up, imagine in the GIF, he's kind of, like, slowly tearing those barbs across the shoulder. It's like,
it's up.
Yeah, so, like...
Hashtag nobody gives a fuck about Bleach.
Oh, they should.
No, but I mean, I can leave this one up.
Well, don't leave it. You don't need to leave it up for like the whole video or anything.
No.
That'd be kind of weird. But yeah, I like how both references so far have been about Bleach.
Right.
Bleach was the fucking manga that got me into like liking manga, so it's kind of it has a special place in my heart.
Hashtag pick better manga.
Bro, it's like the first. Everyone reads weird shit it's the first thing. What was your first ever anime?
My first ever anime, as cliche as it sounds, is Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly. Well, that was mine too. But what I mean is first anime when it was anime. Like I just watched that because of a thing on TV. The first anime I watched where I actively knew this is anime, this is from Japan, was Bleach.
I'd have to say probably Cowboy Bebop.
See, that's good. That's a good anime. You can't. Didn't make my point. Most people's first anime are Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece. You know, one of those fucking ones. Okay?
I watched it because my uncle recommended it.
Nice. Good uncle. Here's my quick 30-second story of how I got into anime. Okay, I got into Dragon Ball Z just because it was on Adult Swim, and I was like, okay, it's a thing, I'll watch it, and you know, it interested me for a while. And then I saw a commercial for Bleach. You know, it was just showing, and I looked to my friend at the time. I'm not friends with him anymore because he turned out to be an emo scumbag. Nothing wrong with emos generally, but like emo in the sense of like I couldn't even hang out with them without being depressed. Like it was like you try to hang out and it's like life is a lie, man. Everything sucks. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I want to have fun. I want to like no, I just want to sulk. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna stop being friends with you. I tried for like a year to make him not sad anymore. So I was like, nah, I'm down. Like he straight up. Can I tell you one of my favorite lines from that friend in that like downward spiral was, yeah, I listen to deathcore now because death metal isn't metal enough for me. That's the kind of person he was. I'm not kidding.
Ear rape in 3, 2, 1.
Is that deathcore?
Literally, you, as a metal fan and shit like that, you literally cannot understand a single lyric in deathcore, but there are lyrics in there.
God. So yeah, that's the kind of person he was. It was middle school. I'm sure he's fine now. But anyway, that my friend at the time, I looked at him and I was like, hey, what's this whole Bleach thing about? It looks pretty interesting. And he was like, oh, don't bother, man. It's just Dragon Ball Z with swords. And I was like, that actually sounds awesome. Because at the time, I loved Dragon Ball. And my favorite character was Trunks because he had a sword. So I'm like, fuck yeah. And I watched that. And then from there, I saw the Death Note advertisement, and then I just kind of started watching the anime that Adult Swim had, and then the rest is... So yeah.
Did you watch Gundam Wing?
Not. It wasn't into huge robots, honestly. You know what I did watch though on Adult Swim back in the day? I think it was called Kakaishi. It was like about like magical boxes, like box.
Oh, if only they would have actually animated the entire series. It got so good.
But yeah, I mean, I remember finding it interesting. And there was a guy that like balanced a chair on top of a fence, and I was like, that's interesting. That's impressive.
Yeah.
It was like an office chair with wheels, balanced on top of a fence, and I was like, so unnecessary. Show it off.
And just like, yeah. I'm perfect. Fuck you.
But yeah, so moving on. Let's see here. But basically just Lewis is amazing. The They changed. It's just really good strategy, honestly.
It's almost like he's getting off on this.
Oh, totally. I mean, we've made the Hisoka comparisons ever since day one with Lewis here.
Yeah.
And he's what it is it's like some people, and this is a real thing. People find that like it's the almost dying but living. It's like it's a rush. You know what I mean? It's like it's similar to like it's.
Oh yeah.
It's the same reason that people find like roller coasters fun, right? You're tricking your body into thinking that your body thinks I'm gonna die from this, because no human body is designed to move that fast. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So your body thinks you're gonna die, and then when you don't, it's like that relief, and it's like endorphins, that sense of that rush. People get addicted to that. That's what thrill seekers are.
Yes, so, yes, we are.
Yeah, this is what Lewis. You're not. Please, you ain't jumping from shit.
No, I can't.
You might have been a thrill seeker. You fucked your knee so bad you can't be a thrill seeker anymore.
Exactly. That was my ultimate high, though. It was just like being in that cage was like the greatest thing ever.
I wish I could have seen you cage fighting. Is there a video of any of your matches ever?
No.
Was it like some underground shit?
Yes. I was the equivalent of the indie wrestler, but cage fighting.
What else to say? Yeah, I guess that was it. I thought I had something else, but I lost it. Anyway, no, but yeah, so I feel like that. Oh yeah, no, I remember I was gonna ask. You like roller coasters? Forgot.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
If I ever fat myself so I can fit in some roller coasters, bro. Cedar Point, man. If you're like even a little chubby and tall, you're fucked.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Fucked.
I literally, when I was in high school, we went to like Michigan Adventures and shit, and I went, through all of that. They're like, "You're too tall." I'm like, "How can you be too tall?"
Well, I get it, because it has to be able to strap like real tightly in. I understand, but I think honestly, let's be honest here. People are getting taller and fatter. That's just kind of the direction our society's going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make half the seat fat people. You know what I mean? Like, okay, fatter people go near the front, and then less fat people go to our normal seat. Boom, problem solved.
Exactly. Like,
I was talking to an employee at Cedar Point. I was like, "Hey man, I don't blame you because you just work here, but I just want you to know, like you're probably gonna start losing customers the fatter America gets."
Exactly. It's.
I'm not even that fat. I'm like chubby. You know,
exactly.
I'm a little fat, and I couldn't fit in like most of the roller coasters. I was like, "This is bullshit."
Well, fuck. I'm just gonna sit here and play at the arcade all day.
Yeah. Well, I could fit. I fit in the. You know what? That's a little off. People don't know Cedar Point. They when we were talking about it. So I fit in a couple of them. Either way. But the good ones, like fucking Millennium Force, I couldn't fit on. But yeah. So Lewis is having a fucking. Definitely enjoying that shit, and then he just straight up destroys a building.
Yeah, like literally. This laugh though, that laugh panel. Like, I don't think anybody laughs like that, but it's so fucking funny. This is quite the thrill. How many centuries has it been? So, like, we got...
by the way, that's another thing for his respect thread. He just, like, double-fisted a building.
Yeah. Could take that so far, but I'm not going to.
Double-fist that building! Also, now it's time. You know us at Planet... No, not Planet Unity anymore. Us at Control Chaos. Look at that sexy new logo. Look at that shit. Thanks to Tanner DMA. We love the monkey. We're all about that monkey here, and this panel with the monkey just bringing the hat over. Goddamn.
Parvu.
Yeah, we know the monkey's name now. We know the monkey's name. Dave.
He's so goddamn adorable. I just wanted. It's so cool. Anyway.
And I love him. He's like, "Where are you, Parvu? Come." Like, he's totally attached to this monkey. I feel like he probably likes this monkey more than he likes Bayon.
He probably likes his monkey more than he likes himself.
Oh God, that's dark. You're right. I hate myself. I leave all my shit to my monkey.
My beer fridge and my porn bags.
And all of Bayon's stuff that I got when he died.
I mean, I'm just carrying along the Bachelor headcanon of just like, I'm the squatter bastard.
Absolutely, man. Like, and that's why incredibly excited for the anime to get to this part because I have to make some fucking. Again, we're gonna try to do an abridged series if we can actually. Like, I mean, we got some pretty good ideas, and then we have Chris, who's like comedy genius, who eventually will fucking dig him out of the cave he's living in. The cave called Pizza Hut.
The cave called. He has no fucking transportation to do his job right now.
What is he doing then?
It's just existing online. I see him sign in.
Have money.
Fuck if I know, man.
All right. I wonder if he can get some unemployment. You know, because my conservative Republican dad, all he ever talks about is people that you don't even gotta work. People are so lazy they can get unemployment. It's like, really? Is he getting any? Can he?
That'd be like one final fuck you.
But let's see here. So then you have the hangover line, as we discussed. Which
yep.
I'm very excited to see what Biz has to say about that. When you're young and stupid and drink too much. God, was this line 4, David?
I feel attacked, damn it.
But yeah, I love it. God, I can't wait to do shit with Bayon's character in this potential abridged we're gonna make here.
What in the hell is this though? I felt the touch of death.
Well, it means he almost. It's just like we were talking about earlier. He almost died, and now he's alive. That's like where that thrill comes from. You know?
Oh yeah, but I mean, just one flat text panel. It's like,
I assume that's because he's thinking that and not saying it out loud.
Yeah, it's just like weirdly placed inside of it though. It's like,
fair, yeah. It's like the author was like, "Fuck, I forgot a text box. I'll just squeeze everything.
Slap it right here."
Okay. Did you ever read as a kid or in school or whatever? Did you ever read the? I think it was called the something like the smartest game or the most challenging game, or you know what I'm talking about, or no?
Nope.
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna explain this. I think I have the title wrong, but it was essentially about a guy who was literally it's straight up could be applied to Lewis. So it was about a guy that was addicted to hunting. Like he had hunted all of like the, you know how they call like hunting game, like, oh, the deer's game, you know, like bear's game, whatever you're hunting, right? So like there was a guy that had like hunted like the hardest shit. Like we're talking like tigers and shit. He had gone to like fucking like different countries, hunted elephants, tigers, everything, right? And he was just to the point where like nothing was challenging anymore, and hunting was beginning to bore him, and that was like scaring him. He didn't want it to bore him. So he started basically inviting people to his island under the guise of like, oh, come and look at my riches and stuff. And then he basically would like give them weapons, tell them to run out into the forest, and I'm gonna and you're my game now, right? And they're like, what? And then like, no, go hide now. You know what I mean?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, so that's a legitimate story, and I kind of wonder if Lewis is semi based off of that. And what happened in that was even eventually he even got used to like the patterns of humans and where humans hide and shit, and even that was getting too much for him. So finally he would start like giving himself more and more handicaps, and like, you know, when in the story when he finally actually, like, if I'm remembering correctly, there is a moment where like, you know, like, because I think originally he didn't give them weapons, and then he started giving them weapons, and he loved like the thrill of like almost dying, you know, like, so like it's just it's that psychology of like I want to feel like my life's on the line again, and you know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's almost a very Saitama thing as well. You know, think One Punch Man. You know, like he I think there's even a line when he's having that dream about fighting the people that are actually challenging for him, like the mole people. He's like dreaming about like how they're actually challenging, and he's like, finally, I can fight with my life on the line. You know?
Yeah, like Lewis is such an interesting character. Like, I almost sympathize with him, but he's still fucking villain. But he's still fucking better than 99% of the characters.
Oh yeah, it's easy to sympathize. I can sympathize with a villain very easily.
Exactly. It's the heroes in shonen are written so generic anymore that you almost always sympathize with the villain more.
Haha. Yeah. Honestly, which is why I'm interested. I still think there's a dark side to Emma that we might see pop.
Oh yeah. And Ray already had his dark moment when he tried to, you know, self-immolate.
But yeah, so you said before we started recording, you said that the final panel had interested you, what they were saying. What was your thoughts?
The final panel interests me because now Emma actually has to physically leave somebody behind.
Like the dude.
Yeah, they literally physically have to leave Pepe there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Hopefully, Lewis doesn't find out what building he's in, so he doesn't double
exactly. Like, this is the first time she actually, physically had to leave somebody since the original arc. So, she's going to have that guilt weighing in on her again, like she did when she had to leave the young ones behind. So, I'm wondering how that will actually play into this final battle here.
Yeah, I mean, we could slowly have... Again, I have a theory that I don't see this fight ending without a fucking, like, just lose her shit moment from Emma. I just don't...
Exactly.
I feel like we're going to... It might be like how, like, remember, like, when Naruto fought Haku and, like, we had, like, a hint of, like, the full losing shit, but it didn't go full losing shit? We might have, like, a hint, maybe?
Yeah.
I think we're going to get something.
That's what I'm thinking here, too. Like, because now she's, somewhat bonded with Pepe, through the battle, that's war psychology.
And you can tell that now that we actually remember his name because he's actually done enough to be worthy of name remembering.
But, like, this is weird, though, to me. Like, now we're back to this 4-on-1, and we already know that 5-on-1 wasn't enough, so where I guess we can roll right into predictions from here. Like, where the fuck are we going to go from here? Are we going to see, like, Adam busting Hulk style? Are we going to see, the rest of the crew?
I think Adam's going to come and probably be, like, one of the tied battle for sure.
Like, there's so many different ways this can go now, because...
I think Adam might legitimately sacrifice himself.
Because if you look at the cover page and zoom in on it, I'm actually delinking it. Zoom in. I also think this is a little bit of the translation bullshit. But if you zoom in on that upper corner, in celebration of the anime and Volume 9, a white hot color cover for the final battle.
Well, it's the final battle of this arc.
Exactly. Like, I won't be surprised if we start seeing that rumor like, oh, the manga's wrapping up. We're just in that.
People always misunderstand that, especially like when it says like I remember when it said like the climax of the whole Cake Island arc, like 20 chapters before it ended, and people were like, oh, it's gonna end soon, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. Climax means it's the beginning of the end.
Exactly, like people take that way too literally. And then you get all these theory videos like, oh, well, it's ending. And they're like, no. Have you ever animated or manga'd before?
Yeah, no, there are still some people out there that still believe that rumor that it was half over or whatever. And as I told Thurman, if it was over, somehow, now, the pacing up till this point would have been absolutely atrocious. And not to say that it still is, but like, especially if it was going to be over, and if it's going to be over in like, okay, so like, let's say this is half, right? It's like, 80 something, right? That means that you would end, like 160? Am I doing that math right?
Something like that, yeah. It's...
Okay, so that would mean that this author spent, 20 plus chapters on characters that like barely even have done anything. We don't even know their names out. If you're going to end a series that soon, you would not be introducing more characters still. You would introduce all the characters you want to work with, and then you would use them, and because you need to finish their character arc. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So if it's going to end that soon, you're not going to be introducing more characters now.
And you definitely wouldn't have spent 5 chapters on the fucking whole Minerva room bullshit, because that would have been moot this close to the end, because we're on chapter 89 now. So you would have revealed all of that shit 20-30 chapters before that. There wouldn't have been the 4 walls bullshit. You would have been like, oh, well, the secret is this, and now we're going to wrap it up by killing these fucking demons here.
Exactly, because let's think about this, right? If the series is ending that quickly, what's the main point of this arc? What in this arc is actually contributing to the overall arc of the story in the series? The only thing would be what they learned in the Minerva room. Okay? Everything else is practically filler. Okay, it's just experiences. It's shit that the characters are going through. And that's fine. It's okay to have that if it's going to be a long-running series. But if it's a short-running series, take a page from Fullmetal Alchemist. Fullmetal Alchemist is one of those like middle of the road style series. It's not short, it's not long. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And there's no wasted time in Fullmetal Alchemist. Every arc adds something to it. Every arc adds something to the final goal of the series. They're going here to find this. They're going here to get that. This one, if the arc was to find the Minerva shit, that would have been the last thing they would have did in the arc. That would have been like we need to fight through the demons to get to the Minerva information. But considering they got the Minerva information in the beginning, and now they're just kind of, fighting. It seems like what a series does when they want to stall for time, because it's a long running series that's getting a lot of money, and they want it to be long running.
And they want to milk that anime license now too.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's fine. Whatever. I can't blame them for it. I hope that I'm excited for this next arc. I hope whenever this, whatever is after this, I'm excited for it. I was rereading volume 4 that I just got personally. I know it's not supposed to be out yet, but it was out in my Barnes and Noble. It's just so good. Like, at first I was wondering if it was just nostalgia blinders. It's not. The first arc was better, and you all know it. Okay, you can try to trick yourself in desperation, but it's first arc is so much better. Go back and read volume 4. Go back and read the end of the escape from Gracefield arc. It's just fucking phenomenal. The emotions portrayed when Norman leaves, the emotions, the conversations between Ray and Emma as he's about to burn himself alive, the escape itself when she cuts off her ear, the pure emotions and everything, even the minor characters. I don't know. I felt things back then that I don't feel now. And again, it's not like I hate the series. I'm nowhere near it. I really hope it reclaims its former glory, because that first arc honestly was a masterpiece. Like that first arc, when that first arc was going, I was telling David this yesterday. When that first arc was going, Promised Neverland was like legitimately in my top 3. Like, it was like in my top 3 favorite manga of all time. And since then it has dropped to around somewhere between 10 and 15. That's how much of a dip it's had for me. So like, I just hope that the next arc can be a little bit more plot centric and maybe kind of feel like the first arc again. And I don't want it to be an exact copy of the first arc. I'm not like, I just, better character introductions or better character interactions, and like heighten the emotions again. Because if I don't care about the characters that you're introducing, I'm not going to feel things for them when shit happens to them.
So, Red, since we cover Ruby and they're slowly actually, recording lines for the new volume, and you say that this is dipped in your top list, which means more to you currently? The Promised Neverland or Ruby?
Promised Neverland.
Okay, then.
It's still, Promised Neverland currently is still better than Ruby currently.
Exactly.
Ruby is a fucking mess. Promised Neverland is just paced bad. Like, there are certainly aspects of the Promised Neverland currently that I don't like. Like, I didn't like a lot of the fights, and like, just, I don't like the characters right now, but like, it's still, Promised Neverland doesn't feel like a shitty fanfic right now. It just feels like a story that's really stretching itself out. Ruby currently feels like a shitty fanfic written by like a middle school. And I'm sorry. Carrie, Miles, I respect you on certain levels, but like, come on guys, get your shit together. Please.
And that's what I wanted to hear. All right. So, your predictions?
I was thinking about that one. I'm gonna say that Adam's definitely going to come into play at some point. I think Adam's probably going to be like the big turning point. I think we might have like a half a chapter of them trying shit, and it's going to be failing. Lewis is going to be like, fucking owning them. And then right as it looks like they're about to fucking die, Adam might jump in and kind of like be the turning point,
Yep.
And then I think I'd like to have one more final really good conversation between Lewis and Emma as they're like wrapping up the fight. I don't know if Lewis is going to die or if they're going to somehow get Lewis to potentially be like a reoccurring thing, because I think his character's so good. I almost think it'd be a waste for him to die at this point.
Right?
Honestly, I'd rather, if my dream scenario is that a bunch of people come to try to help and Lewis like wipes out half of the no-name characters.
It's like, oh, by the way, I found your hideout.
Like, it'd just be nice if Lewis could pull a Thanos and just like, all right, there's half of the fucking useless characters I don't remember anymore.
Don't need to remember you. Click.
Lewis goes through with like a script, like, you're not important, you're not important. Oh, that'd be nice. God, just like.
I seriously want like a Thanos finger snap GIF to live edit up whenever you bring that up anymore, as much as you use it now.
Yes. I guess it's just what honestly just annoys me is just like I don't want this author to go down the route because Kubo kind of did this, and I think it is a route that like authors go down when they don't know what to do, and it's introduce more characters. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna bind here. Introduce more characters. Like, don't do that. Work with the characters you have. You have so fucking many.
Exactly. And it's not just those two that have done it. I mean, you know, a lot of the starting authors do this as well. And it's, like you said, it's when they lose their ability to write relevant plot. When they're stuck on whatever they're doing. They're just like, they'll meet this person so they can help with this goal. And this person can, you know, be written in. And then, no, you have a full cast to work with. Like you were saying, it's just so frustrating to see so many authors go down the same fucking path over and over and over and over again. That
I think character introductions should be done in like groups of 5 or less. Like I thought the Musica Sung Woo, or was it Sung Woo his name?
Yeah, that was
great. I thought their character introductions were done well, and I liked them.
And they also contributed to the plot naturally.
Yes, I thought the Man with No Name was also great. I thought he did great for his thing. But when you're like, here's a fucking group of 20 more people, it's like, no, too much. Nope.
Like, even if she would have went to, like, because there's many houses there, like, went from house to house trying to build a team to escape, it would have felt more natural than just dumping in 20.
Well, that's why when they introduced, like, the fucking 20 kids, my first thought, like, I was, like, almost positive that like 90% of them were going to die just because of how story writing works. Like, okay, well, there's no way that he's going to fucking try to actually do shit with these 20 kids. So like I was like so sure, like fucking 90% is going to die. But no, so far they haven't.
So far we got 2 on a hospital bed. We got what, 3 dead. And the rest are alive and well and not even fucking harmed.
Yeah, by the way, I still to this day, I think that the original escape arc of Gracefield, I still think the only people that should have escaped should have been I personally wanted Emma and what I originally thought was Emma, Norman, and then Ray would like stay behind and do the burning thing, but then Norman left. So I think it would have been cool if it was Emma, Gilda, Don, and maybe like 1 or 2 of the other kids escaped, and then the rest stayed behind, and then Ray like burnt himself to be the distraction. I thought that would have been neat, and then we would have had a nice small cast to work with.
And then we would have had, you know, basic perfection for the next arc, for them to even introduce, you know, these 20 plus other cast members, you know, because then it would have been
exactly, yeah, like this will be my new family. But I think as I've said before, what I want them to work on right now as a story, what I want them to be doing is, instead of like, I like shonen, but I don't think this necessarily needs to turn into a stereotypical shonen. I'd rather it be like a world exploration thing, right? I want them to go to a demon city. How does it work? Try to sneak around, fucking get information. We've seen that there are demons that aren't into eating humans. Maybe we meet like a faction of them and see like learn from them how the demon society works, you know. And then what I'm really excited for is when and if they get to the human world, how are they going to meld back into society? Because we know that the big top politician people, they want to keep the promise. So they might have, when they get over to the human side, they're not necessarily safe. They're going to have people looking for them like they're undocumented immigrants trying to send them back to the demon world. You know? I'm not even kidding. Like, legitimately, that's what's going to happen.
Back over the wall with ya.
They're going to have to, yeah, seriously, the 7 walls, lol. But they're going to have to, like, almost try to, like, meld back into society naturally. I don't, you know, like, I don't know if they wanted, if they're going to, like, fake IDs, or I don't know. Like, there's going to be, that's the kind of shit I'm interested in. I'm interested in the politics. I'm interested in how they're going to live in this world. I'm interested in just how they make a life now that they've escaped. That's what I want to see, and I hope that the next arc focuses on stuff like that.
Alrighty. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
that's all good shit. I mean, I'm hoping for a lot of that as well, but like I don't know if we're going to be able to experience all of that on one arc at the pacing we currently have.
Oh no, I don't mean all of that in one arc. I'm just saying something like going in that direction.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm just still mocking the pacing.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, until next week.
Peace.
Peace.